Like the Bigfoot, Yetis, Yowies, and skunk apes, rock apes are a type of hominid cryptids that apparently inhabit the jungles of Vietnam. The Vietnam scholars call these rock apes forest men. Forest men are over 6 feet tall or over 1.8 meters, with their entire body covered in hair except, strangely, their knees, feet, hands, and face. They were bipedal, meaning they stood on both legs like human beings. People who have witnessed these creatures say that their hair ranges from black to gray to brown, and are seen eating and collecting fruits and leaves. Though they seem to be herbivores, legends say that they can become very aggressive and have attacked and killed humans before. During the Vietnam War, these rock apes were spotted by both forces. Deep in the jungles where guerrilla tactics were used, some soldiers who would camp at night would start hearing strange noises and seeing giant furry bipedal creatures out in the distance. Accounts of these encounters have been recorded many times during the war in the book called Very Crazy GI, Strange but True Stories of the Vietnam War, written by a veteran named Craig P.J. Jorgensen. You can purchase the book on Amazon, and I'll post a link down below if any of you are interested. In one account, soldiers who were resting in the middle of the deep jungle had spotted some sort of reddish orangutan. However, on closer inspection, they soon realized that it was neither a monkey or an enemy of the Viet. Just as fast as they saw it, it disappeared into the woods. One account by Robert Beard's diary described hearing a mysterious and creepy noise around their campsite in the middle of the night. One of his team members decided to investigate what the noise was. After leaving the campsite, Beard saw multiple gunshots before hearing his teammate come back into the site, clearly shaken. When asked about what had happened, he said that while coming back to the campsite, he noticed an odd-looking bush that had not been there before. Upon closer inspection, he heard a snorting sound, thus triggering his gun. In 1969, a squad of American soldiers were taking a small break near a ridge of a mountain when suddenly a group of hairy, giant apes were seen casually walking towards them. Of course, being startled by the giant beasts, the soldiers shot their gun without hesitation. After devastating minutes of heavy fire at enemies they had not even had a good look at, they stopped firing after realizing they were not hitting anything. They recalled them as ghostly images because none of their shots were hitting their targets. These forest men were quick and dashed into the bushes as quick as the gunshots were fired. The squad described them as being only 5 feet tall with reddish-brown hair. One giant, black-haired ape barked aggressively at the soldiers while they were firing their guns. After they ceased fire, they found no corpse or blood, or even fur, on the ground. Hill 868 is the most famous area that is supposedly infested and overrun by rock apes. Because of this, the hill is infamously called Monkey Mountain. Many sightings of these rock apes, as well as physical evidence of these monsters, such as their droppings, hair, footprints, and cries at night, make this place very eerie. This is especially the case at night, when rocks supposedly fly right out of the air. These rock apes were described by armies as throwing like girls but with velocity. Due to this, many soldiers would actually get injured by these rocks. The most frightening story regarding this Hill 868 is when a unit of Marines were setting up camp and testing out new equipment, when suddenly they noticed a giant hairy ape-like creature staring directly at them. They all froze in fear, not knowing what to do. All of a sudden, the hairy creature let out a blood-curdling scream that sounded awfully like a dog. Startled, one of the soldiers threw a rock at it, hoping to scare it away. However, it was a direct hit straight at the beast. The beast then grabbed a rock of its own and threw it at them. The next thing the soldiers knew, they were surrounded by well over 20 of these apes. They began screaming in unison. Scared, the soldiers decided that the only thing they could do is retreat. The weird thing about these so-called rock apes is the fact that after the war, many investigations and operations were done in Vietnam to try and exploit these creatures living in the forests. However, most of them were unsuccessful. Like always, there are many theories that suggest these rock apes are nothing but a myth. Theories have ranged from different types of monkeys that live in the forests and mountains in Vietnam to the overuse of drugs during the war. Firstly, in Vietnam, there are many different types of monkeys. This is important because it suggests that maybe these rock apes are not cryptids, but in fact just endangered species of monkeys. For example, the snub-nosed monkey can be found in Vietnam and are endangered species. This is interesting because these types of monkeys have a wide variety and range of vocals that includes the imitation of a dog's barking. The only problem is that these footprints of the snub-nosed monkey does not match the ones found from the rock apes. As for the drugs, well, they're self-explanatory. Soldiers were taking drugs during the war to ease the pain, so maybe everything they heard and saw could have been their own imagination. What do you think about these rock apes? Do you believe in them, or do you think they are just endangered monkeys? Like always, like, share, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay classy.